The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This psalm is one of the most well-known and beloved among the many psalms in the Bible, often referred to as Psalm 23. It is attributed to King David, who was both shepherd and king, and it expresses a profound sense of trust and comfort that the speaker feels towards God. The overall theme of the psalm is the intimate relationship between God and the believer, depicted through the metaphor of God as a shepherd and the believer as his sheep. The psalm begins with the declaration, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This statement sets the tone for the entire psalm and establishes God as the provider and caretaker. The imagery of God as a shepherd would have been particularly resonant in ancient Israel, a society where shepherding was a common occupation. A shepherd's primary role is to guide and protect the sheep, ensuring their needs are met. By saying, "I shall not want," the psalmist conveys a deep sense of contentment and trust in God's provision. It suggests that with God as the caring shepherd, all essential needs will be supplied, and there is no cause for worry or lack. The next lines, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul," further elaborate on this concept of God providing for and nurturing his followers. Green pastures symbolize abundant provision and nourishment, the ideal conditions for sheep as they need lush, grass-filled pastures to thrive. Still, waters imply peace and tranquility, essential for rest and refreshment. The act of lying down in such pastures indicates a sense of safety and well-being under God's watchful care. When the psalmist says, "He restores my soul," it implies a rejuvenating and healing aspect of God's provision, suggesting that God not only cares for physical needs, but also offers spiritual renewal and restoration. "He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake," addresses God's guidance and direction in life. The paths of righteousness refer to living a life that aligns with God's will and commandments. This guidance is not just for the benefit of the individual, but for his name's sake. This indicates that when believers follow divine guidance, it brings glory to God's name, highlighting the relationship between the believer's conduct and God's reputation. The psalm then transitions to a more personal and perhaps more challenging aspect of life. "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Here, the valley of the shadow of death is a metaphor for times of deep darkness and danger, potentially including not just physical mortality, but any period of extreme difficulty or uncertainty. Despite being in such a perilous situation, the speaker expresses an assurance of safety because of God's presence. The rod and staff are tools of the shepherd, used for protection and guidance. The rod is often seen as a symbol of protection with which the shepherd might fend off predators, while the staff is used to guide and direct the sheep, preventing them from going astray. Together, they represent God's ability to protect and guide through the darkest times, offering comfort throughout life's adversities. The psalm continues with, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." This imagery shifts from the pastoral scene to that of a feast or banquet, symbolizing abundance and honor. The idea of a table being prepared in the presence of enemies indicates a reality where, despite opposition or hostility, God provides abundantly for the believer and honors them. To anoint my head with oil is an ancient practice signifying blessing, healing, or setting apart for a special purpose. It suggests a sense of being chosen and cared for in a special way. The phrase, "my cup overflows," is an expression of an abundant and overflowing life, a metaphor for the richness of blessings that God bestows upon the believer. The final lines, Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Conclude the psalm with a statement of enduring confidence and hope. Goodness and mercy encompass the wide range of God's blessings, including His kindness, love, and faithfulness. The use of the word follow suggests that these blessings are not just occasional, but are a constant presence in the life of the believer. All the days of my life indicates that this divine goodness and mercy are permanent companions, not just fleeting moments of kindness. To dwell in the house of the Lord forever speaks to the ultimate hope of eternal presence with God. In the context of the ancient temple, the house of the Lord represented the actual place of God's presence among His people. For the author, to dwell there forever signifies an enduring relationship and communion with God that transcends life on earth and offers a sense of belonging and security in the divine presence for eternity. This concluding affirmation of faith and hope in God's eternal care encapsulates the Psalm's overarching message of divine provision, protection, and intimate relationship with God.